Hello, I wasn't going to make this video today. I was only going to do my analytics video, which I will be doing later because you need to know where I am on my challenge of getting monetized by Christmas, right? I will do that later, but let's get into what this is about and why I was so inspired to do a video for you now, and it had to be right now. So I've just watched a video by a lovely lady called Jase Nomade. She is a friend of mine who I met, although I haven't actually met her in real life, but through YouTube. She is a fellow midlife YouTuber and she has a absolute beautiful way with her. She's a beautiful soul. And she was doing a video in her car and she just did it. No mucking about, no B-roll, no editing. It was beautiful, it was from the heart. And it was a subject that a lot of people will not even go near or talk about, even if it is happening to them. So it was very interesting to see that. Also, she received, like the mailman, the postman came and gave her an envelope, which turned out to be a brilliant envelope, but she received it while the video was on. How many of us would just stop the video, edit that bit out? She didn't, she kept it going. And then I watched another video by a guy called Stephen Thompson. He says Tompkins, sorry. There's an actor called Stephen Tompkinson. Anyway, so Stephen Thompson, I watched his video just now. And again, he was saying about doing it without any edits, without any B-roll. And I'm like, wow. So here I am. I thought I'm going to have a go. I was inspired to take action by those two fantastic people. So thank you very much, you guys. So today I am going to talk to you about why I decided that custom printing was a complete disaster for me and why I moved into print on demand. Now, that may sound a little dry after you think about like Jase bearing her soul and telling you her situation and how she's handling it, which is remarkably, and also Stephen, who has told us lots about, let me turn my thing off. Oh, no, that's on. Turn my volume off on my computer, otherwise you're going to have bing bongs all the way through. Sorry. Unedited, right? Oh, this hurts. Oh, this hurts. So, yeah, I want to share, the reason I want to share this with you is because, Stephen, by the way, was saying about his loss of his stepfather, who was a major role in his life. So there's an element of storytelling, and my story about custom printing is quite a painful one. Not just because of the burns that I got at my arms and things like that. There were a lot of late nights. Let's get into it and I'll tell you. So why did I even start custom printing in the first place? Well, I was a sales rep and I loved being a sales rep. I was a sales executive, actually. It's a very, very, very fine distinction, and I don't even know if it's true, but what my sales manager, Andy, who I adored, used to say to me was, a rep will go around to places and sort of make a list of what people are running out of and then refill it for them and that sort of thing. Whereas an executive, sales executive, would go into places and sell them something. Something maybe sometimes they didn't know they wanted. Anyway, I was a sales executive. So because I didn't know it existed, not because I was conning them, but because I didn't know it existed. Anyway, let's get back to the story. So I was selling maintenance products and I loved it. I loved the customers. I had a riot. I had such a laugh. I was dealing mostly with men, engineers, maintenance men, site managers, things like that. And I absolutely loved it. I'd go in, have a cup of tea with them, have a chat. I'd show them some new innovative product that we got and they'd hopefully buy it if I'd created a use for it, created a need for it. It was challenging and it was great fun. I loved driving around the country with my salesman at salesman's elbow. So I'd have one brown arm where I'd be driving with my arm out the window, radio on, absolutely loved it. Unfortunately, ill health. I have something in me where my bones haven't got as much collagen as they should have, which means that I had to have both my hips replaced and my energy dipped. I developed CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome, and I just wasn't able to get out, do the 30,000 miles a year anymore. So while I was selling maintenance products, here's quite a story. While I was selling maintenance products, people would say to me, customers would say to me, I don't really want any chemicals off you today or any cement or anything like that, but what I really need is some printed uniforms. I need a set of polo shirts with our logo on and things like that. And that wasn't really what we did. That wasn't in our remit. And I'd always try and help, but it wasn't really our thing. So when I couldn't drive and couldn't do this anymore, and I found that even doing one call a day was absolutely crippling me, and then I had to have the operations anyway, so obviously that took me off the road. When I did that, I thought in my brain, I could do custom printing. I could be that missing element. All those customers who've said to me, we want local stuff and things like that, I could be doing that. And that was the plan. So I bought myself a cutting machine. I went to Hobbycraft and bought myself a Cricut. And it is Cricut, by the way. I know it looks like Cricut, but it's Cricut. And that's why it's got little feelers on the C. Anyway, just in case you never knew. I was calling it Cricut for ages before I knew that. So I bought that. I bought loads of vinyl, and, you know, I've been working in sales and in industry. I wasn't just going to go and buy Hobbycraft vinyl because it would be more expensive. So I went to the proper suppliers and found it out all how to do it. Bought loads of vinyl, and in your basic blacks and whites and reds and blues. And then I bought more vinyl when I got the orders in specific colours. So I got the exact Pantone, the exact hex colours right for people. Anyway, let me continue. So I was cutting out these logos for them, doing it. And obviously most logos are more than one colour. So learned how to do layered colours and things. Bought a heat press. Ended up with 4 because I wanted one for doing things like caps. I had a customer that wanted caps, and I could use those to do face masks too. And it got quite big. You know, I just had my own little production line. And when I said I had 4 heat presses, I didn't have 4 all at once. It was because I kept killing them, because I was so harsh on them, because I was putting them through so much of the ka-chung, ka-chung. It was taking, you know, I should have probably invested in one good one, but instead it was like crisis management. So this was great, but it wasn't earning enough money for me to be able to take somebody else on, which meant I could make some money from it, but I could never grow it. I couldn't grow it because I couldn't get out there selling the service, because in my mind when I set it up, I would be going to all my old customers, and I would have been going to other people in similar positions, in similar situations, similar jobs, and I wasn't able to do that. I wasn't able to get out and about because my days were spent, Virgo, love doing this, peeling and cutting and pulling away all the letters and picking out the middle of the A's and the middle of the O's. Oh, I loved doing it. It was great fun. But what it was not was financially viable. So I was doing that, and then during the night printing them. Now, if you've ever done anything crafty with black fabric, you will know that black fabric, it's very hard to see creases and things like that. And the way to get a centre line in black fabric, or in any fabric, is fold it exactly in half, put it on your heat press, do a little crease in there, and then you can see it so that you're getting the logo or whatever it is in exactly the right position. But because most people wear black, don't they? Because black is slimming, black is forgiving. Black doesn't show the dirt, it shows dandruff, it doesn't show the dirt. So most people had black, wanted black, or at least very dark navy. Very difficult to do during the night. But why was I printing during the night? Because during the day I had all the day stuff to do and trying to sell the service. Oh, it was a cycle. I was exhausted, which meant I ended up burning myself. I ended up not sometimes missing the middle of a P, the middle of an A, which for a Virgo is a complete crisis, and someone with a bit of ADHD as well. Complete crisis, awful. Hated myself for it. Maybe I would get it slightly wonky. Maybe I would do 100 or 99 perfect polo shirts, but one might have been slightly off, or a couple of millimeters to the right or to the left where it shouldn't have been. Oh, it was awful. And then I'd have to get them to the post office to post them out. And the post office would shut at 5:30, or last orders, 5:30. And I would be bombing there, desperately trying not to speed, obviously speeding, and desperately trying not to get caught going through the lights, things like that, and not kill anybody, including myself, to get there, to be able to get these parcels out to people so that they receive their stuff at the right time. The whole thing from start to finish was a nightmare. I mean, yeah, I did enjoy the peeling bit, but apart from that, the whole thing was a complete nightmare. Oh. Sometimes I would be packing up, thinking I've got everything absolutely perfect. I'd be packing up, and then I'd see one mistake. I'd be like, okay, I've got half an hour to get this little bit of plastic peeled off the back, get it sealed, and get it to the post office. And now I've got to redo that one. And I tried sublimation as well, and I loved sublimation. Sublimation is great fun. What you do is you use special ink. So I bought a sexy sublimation printer. I've still got it. I've converted it to a normal printer now. It was a lot of money. I'm not throwing it away. So I would do these. You put it on this special sublimation paper, backwards obviously, and then you put it on, and then you fire up your heat press to like maximum, and then you put it on there, and it gets really, really hot, and it's only particular fabrics with a high polyester content that it works on. But the colours are vibrant, amazing, they never wash out. The problem is, you make a mistake with sublimation, they never wash out. You can't peel it off like sometimes you can with a bit of hot HTV, heat transfer vinyl. So that means I'd end up with, if I did make a mistake, and now there's the front door. So it's not actually an edit, but it's a 2.5 video. Is that okay? I think that's okay. So the message is that yes, it was painful doing this in more ways than one, not just the burn. I also ended up with quite a lot of stock, because although I was determined, apart from buying that black and white vinyl, I was determined that I was only going to buy the stuff I needed, and I was going to be super efficient, right? But then I would do an order for somebody that wanted 8 polo shirts or 8 t-shirts, say, and these t-shirts they'd want 2 XXL, 1 XXL, 1 large, and 2, I've lost count, but they'd want a mixture of different sizes, right? And then suddenly, one of the people it was for maybe announced they were pregnant, or somebody was saying they were leaving, so they want a different size. And I've already bought the stuff, because the suppliers that I was buying the t-shirts from, they charge a delivery fee. So I'm like, right, okay, I can get all of those together rather than buy them in, why would you buy them in 1s or 2s? So buy them all in. So then I've got the situation, do I send that back to get a replacement that then costs me again, which some of that obviously is eating into my profit. So do I do that? And so I'm like, no, I may as well just keep that. And then when I've got my next order, obviously try and remember to order in that as well, so that I know I've got that t-shirt coming in for that job, and I've got this. So you end up with a stock of leftovers, and I had a lot of those. And in the end, I ended up giving them away, doing a charity drop with them, because nobody really wants to buy all these random sizes of plain t-shirts and things. So when I decided I wasn't doing custom printing anymore, I just got rid of the lot and converted my sublimation printer to a normal one. So I was still really into this idea, though, of getting people's logos and things out there. So this is when I discovered print on demand. And the great thing with print on demand is that there is no outlay in stock. There is no having to buy vinyl in their specific hex code colours. There is nothing like that, because all of that is someone else's problem. And I sometimes find it hard to explain to people, particularly business owners, what print on demand actually is and how it works, because it seems too good to be true. And in a way, it is so good, it is so clever. So what happens is I get the design, which the customer has given to me, I put it onto this specialist software for whichever print-on-demand company it is, and then the customer tells me what they need, and I order it for them. It gets sent straight to the customer. I've done my bit. I'm not up all night with my heat press. I'm not trying to get it in the middle. That's a professional printer's job, and those professional printers are doing the job for me so that I can go out doing the selling bit. Hallelujah. So it was a real revelation for me. And then, of course, I ended up thinking, well, if I'm doing it for customers who have, say, a plumbing company, and I'm doing their uniforms for them through this, because I was doing it in a private way. It wasn't like I was putting them on Redbubble, because they don't want random people on Redbubble buying their plumbers' t-shirts and pretending they work for them. Imagine even the security of that. They wouldn't want that. No, I've got a phone call coming in. I've never been this popular before. But yeah, the way you can do it with print on demand is you can have privacy. So it doesn't have to be going out there, going on sale with them. So you can use it for uniforms and things like that. But then I got a little greedy, and I thought, in a good way, and I thought, actually, I'm not using print on demand to its fullest potential here. I could be putting designs on that people around the world would want to buy, and selling these t-shirts to people because they want to buy that t-shirt. So I was creating designs then for people, like things that were trending, or not just things that were trending, things that were always going to be popular. Funny things. I'm not particularly artistic, so mine would be quotes and quips and things like that, little sarcastic one-liners, and it worked. And so now, yeah, I still do logos for people, but I don't print a thing myself. So last week when I was at an event, I was sitting next to a lady who I know quite well. She's doing a book with us as the publishing pod. We do books. You can see the books behind me there. I help people to publish their books. My friend Louisa, who is my business partner, she helps them to write their story, usually their life story, that sort of thing, and overcoming adversity and things like that. So she brings the story out. The manuscript comes to me, I format it, and I help them to upload it, or mainly upload it for them. So onto Amazon, KDP. So, and it's a wonderful service because we have been seeing so many breakthroughs, so many propulsions with people, not just with their businesses, but with their lives as well. Sorry, the people are still here. So it means print on demand has brought me into all these different capacities. So yes, I'm still doing effectively custom printing for businesses, except I'm not doing the printing. It's brought me the ability to do the self-publishing, because I'd always, like 11 years, not my whole life, but always been writing for KDP and publishing on KDP. It's brought it all together, but also being able to sell merchandise throughout the world. So this is print on demand, and this is why I love it. My name's Jo, and I'm a pod addict.